Hey, Russell of Hotels going live just for a couple of minutes. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Wednesday, or like I say, Hump Day. Happy Hump Day to everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Hey, you know what? I did my live. I didn't do it yesterday. Did I do it? No, I did not do it yesterday because normally I would do on air with Russell of Hotels, that live hospitality talk show. Everybody's talking about it, but I was traveling yesterday, and I think I mentioned that on Monday. I mentioned on Monday because I did do a live late Monday. I was live from Greenville, South Carolina. So today I'm back home. I'm back in the office, right? So hope you guys are doing well. I wanted to come on and, kind of catch you up and see what's going on. I didn't do the show yesterday, but definitely I do these things. I do these either a live or some type of show, some type of check-in. It's the daily check-in, right? So 5 days a week I do it. So Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm doing the daily check-in. On Tuesday, On Air with Russell of Hotels comes on at 1 o'clock PST, okay? So this one comes on around noon, 12:30-ish, something like that. I'm going to do it. So it's going to be some part of the day I'm going to do it. Of course, I always like to have people come on live so they can make their comments live, but, you can look at it, listen to it on the replay, too. The replay is always there, so the topics or whatever I'm talking about don't go away. They're there. In fact, let me open up the comments because I don't have those open. So let me they're open now. Okay. So let me just make sure I am live on, let me turn this down. I tend to, yeah, there you go. We're live on, where am I live on? We're live on, I should know this, but I'm going to say it again. I have to look it up, my little notes here. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, IG, and X. X is Twitter, just in case you did not know that. But no, happy Hump Day. I said that already. But I hope you guys are doing well. Hey, like I said, I was in Greenville, South Carolina. What a great destination. You just don't know unless you know, right? When it came up to go to IPEC, which is Independent Planners Educational Conference, that's IPEC. We're big on acronyms: hotel people, CVB people, DMO people, Convention and Visitors Bureau, or destination marketing organizations. The name is kind of interchangeable, but we're big on acronyms. Okay, so I'll throw out a bunch of acronyms, and not everybody knows unless you're in that space, right? So I'll throw that stuff out there like it's like I'm throwing out candy, but I'll explain what it is too, right? So yeah, so this was a mixture of course, hotel people, suppliers, and then meeting planners or hotel site selection like myself, which are buyers. Okay, so we get together, or IPEC is that vehicle to get us all together, and that way we can network and communicate and talk and build friendships and relationships and all that kind of stuff. And then hopefully you have business for the prospective hotels or DMOs, and then it's all about tourism, right? It's all about those tourism and meeting dollars. Okay, so that's what we do. We're trying to make sure that if I have something, an RFP, request for proposal, another acronym, I give those to the meeting planner, or not the meeting planner, the DMO or the hotel representative. So it just so happened I happen to have an RFP, right? So I send it off. Well, I didn't send it off until this morning. So I already got responses from several people, at least if they got the email and things like that. So that's what we want to do. I actually have a group that wants to meet on the East Coast. So it was very important that I made it to this particular conference because I don't have a lot of contacts on the East Coast, specifically in the Southeast, right? So it was good that I got a chance to go out there. It didn't matter that it was cold, okay? Everybody's complaining, oh my God, it's so cold, I would never go. You know what? Give me a break, okay? If it was hot, would you go? I mean, what's the difference? Cold? I'd rather have it cold than heat, right? Because I grew up in the desert, and I don't want to ever go back to the desert again. But I know I have to, right? But I don't prefer it, but I will deal with it for a couple of days if I have to, okay? So people kill me with that. They're like, oh my God, it's so cold. I said, I sent a picture of downtown, like at the Westin Poinsett, Greenville, the Westin in Greenville. They have a fountain that had frozen over, Okay, it was frozen solid. Okay, so I sent it. Oh my God, I can never be there. Well, come on now. It wasn't that cold. Okay. It may have been cold when that froze over, but it wasn't cold the day I was there, right? So that's okay, right? But anyway, we all got our issues. But this right here, I'm always gonna show something about the destination where I was or where I am or whatever. So this is where I was. So this is kind of downtown Greenville, South Carolina. Very walkable destination. And that's one thing that especially when you have groups, you want to look for destinations that, and sometimes they choose a destination sight unseen, right? My job has nothing to do with the destination. My job has to do with finding, hotels within that destination. Making sure they have the right lift, make sure they, if it's a convention, if it's large enough for a convention center, do they have that? Do they have adequate space for this and that or whatever? Transportation, all those kind of things. Those are the things the questions I get asked. But the destinations usually are already selected when I get involved, right? But if it wasn't, this would be an ideal place because, like I said, it's very walkable. And one thing that I like about, destinations like this is that you don't see a lot of the like chain stores and chain restaurants and things like that. So it's like a lot of, mom and pop things like candy stores and cookies and bakery store, all that kind of stuff downtown. I want to say it's Main Street. Very nice, very quaint. I liked it. I loved it. I kind of liked it. Okay, I was only there for a couple of days, mind you, but I think. Well, I'm not saying I'm gonna move there. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I just said it's for to meet there, to for a destination. I would say it's pretty darn dope. So I was very pleasantly surprised. I didn't know what to expect, but definitely it's on my list, right? It's on my list of those destinations. Because we sometimes sleep on those second, third, and fourth tier destinations. You know what I mean? We're like, oh, no, I would never go there. Oh my God, you don't know anything about it. So a lot of times we complete ignorance because we don't know a lot about them, right? So we just say, oh no, I would never go there because you've never been there. And I had never been there. This is my first time there, right? And I always keep an open mind when I go to different destinations. So I'm like, okay, all right, let's go check it out first. And then the cuisine, the local fare is dope as well, right? So you get that southern cooking, you get all the the shrimp and grits. I think shrimp and grits came from here. You know what I mean? So I'm sure they do it well. I'm sorry, I don't eat shrimp and grits anymore because I got a different kind of lifestyle now. So my dietary, my diet needs don't enable me to eat certain things, right? Meat, seafood. I don't eat that stuff. But I know back in the day it probably would have been pretty good, right? But I don't eat it. So, but I have to rely on people to tell me like, oh my God, this is so good. And a lot of people would tell me, but what they did do for me, right? They had we had a reception one night. I want to say that was Monday night. Had to be Monday night. So they had it at this one restaurant that they closed down just for our event. I'm gonna say it's called Sobeys, Sobys, and they had, of course, they had salads and vegetables, things like that, fruit, that kind of stuff, nuts, whatever. Okay, stuff that I eat, right? Rabbit food, somebody would say. But they had sliders like chicken and beef sliders, but they also had fried green tomato sliders. I was like, would you guys knock it off over here? So I must have ate like 10 of those things. Okay. So, but they're very good. They're quite tasty, right? Because I love fried green tomatoes. They have that like tangy taste to them, like you can only get with a fried green tomato. So I thoroughly enjoy that. So I'm glad that they, and IPAC always does, or North Star meetings as a whole, they always do a great job of making sure they meet people's dietary needs or restrictions. Because not a lot of the organizations do that. The ones that put on meetings like this or conferences, they don't do that. They don't take that into consideration. You just basically, well, hey, it's up to you. Find out. Hey, it's up to you, right? If you can eat it, you can eat it. If not, well, hey, you better have something in your room, right? That kind of thing. But they had breaks. They had, healthy things, options, if that's what you wanted, right? If you didn't want that, then that's fine. You didn't have to. but they had everything. They had sweet tea. Oh my God. Okay, that's a Southern thing, right? Sweet tea. I drank a couple of those. So okay. So and it was flowing. It looked like iced tea, right? So they give you an option of unsweetened tea and sweet tea, which is a Southern thing. And oh man, I try not to drink too much, but I did get a little carried away. I'm not gonna lie, I did. We all got our vices, right? Okay, we all have our vices. Okay, mine may be sweets. Okay, they had vegan cookies, vegan chocolate chip cookies. So I gave them to a friend of mine who was sitting next to me, and I said, "Hey, try this. This is what is this? A vegan?" Because she knows I don't eat meat, right, or anything with butter and dairy or eggs, and she tried it, and it took everything within her power not to say it was good. Okay, she's like, "Oh, it's okay." She could have just said, "Oh yeah, this is pretty good." I never would have known that it was, it didn't have eggs or butter, but she couldn't just bring herself to say that. It's like, "Oh, it's okay." I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. If that's all I'm gonna get from you, that's fine. But getting back to what I was saying, visit Greenville, South Carolina. I appreciate I appreciate the love, appreciate what you guys did for us. Quick shout out to Rebecca Middleman, and then Melissa Erdley. Did I say that right? I hope I said that right. Erdley. They're both with Visit Greenville, South Carolina. Okay, one is the director of sales, and one of them is the national sales manager. I met with them yesterday, and definitely because I send them an RFP. So hopefully everything goes well. That maybe I can go back to and check out Greenville again. So and report firsthand how my group, how they enjoyed it, or maybe they didn't enjoy it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll get some feedback. But anyway, so once again, I do this. This is a daily check-in with Russell of Hotels. I do this Monday through Friday. Okay, between about noontime. These are nooners, right? So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. These are nooners. This is the time I do it, and then on air with Russell of Hotels, which lasts about an hour. Okay, so I go a little bit more in detail, more in depth with certain topics or whatever. I do have a topic here today, and it's quick. And these right here are not meant to be more than 25, 30 minutes. Okay, so I'm right now on 12 minutes. Okay, so it won't go that much further past that, probably about 20, 25 minutes. Let's just say, I don't know, depending on if I want to talk or not. But feel free to make comments. You guys can always make comments. Like I said, I am live on several platforms: YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and IG. So there you go. So what am I talking about today? What am I going to talk? Oh, there's another hotel. Okay, so I did a tour. So iPad gives you an option, right? Or maybe let's just say this: visit Greenville gave us options, right? So because it's their show, it's their destination, right? So they gave us option to do. You can do like a town tour, city tour, something like that, or you can do rope climbing. I think they did horseback riding, if I'm not mistaken. And then what I chose was the meeting planner hustle, which means you got a chance to look at, the convention center as well as several other hotels. We all stayed at the Westin. I'm sorry, no, we didn't. We stayed at the Hyatt Regency. I'm sorry about that. We stayed at the Hyatt Regency in Greenville. But that's our home hotel, the host hotel. So you're going to see everything that they have to offer. But sometimes we go to these conferences, we only get to see that hotel. We don't get to venture off and see other hotels unless you did it on your own or did a pre or post fam trip, right? Well, we're able to see the Westin, the AC, the Spring Hill Suites and Residence Inn, which is a dual property. So we're able to see some other properties which were pretty nice. Okay, newer properties, can't beat that, right? So this right here is the Westin Poinsett. This is the one that had the frozen fountain out front. The photo that I put on Instagram. So if you didn't see that, go back and check it out. You know what the heck I'm talking about. But yeah, this is the Westin Poinsett, 200 rooms. I always want to give the vitals, right, for these hotels, right? The specifics. So 200 guest rooms, 8 meeting rooms, 69 square feet of meeting space, built in 1925. Yeah, you guys know I love the detail of the hotels that are built in the 20s or buildings that were built in the 20s. So This is one of those. Definitely see a lot of character. You see a lot of things molding and things like that that they don't make anymore, right? So definitely a period piece, if you will, right? And then it was last renovated in 2000, which was kind of surprising because it's in pretty darn good condition. Okay, so and you guys know the rule of thumb. I told you like 7 to 10 years would probably be that sweet spot for a renovation. You thought that maybe because of COVID, some hotels that could afford to do it would have done it during that time. So maybe they're coming up on a renovation, but like I said, you would have never known that, because I just found out today it was renovated, and the last renovation was 2000. When I was there, there was no way I never would have even thought that was 2000. That was the last renovation date. But anyway, that's okay. These are facts, right? I just report the facts and keep it moving. But would I use that hotel? Would I recommend? You darn right I would. So there you go. So the topic for today, quick little topic: show up and be present for all your appointments. What does that mean? Okay, all right. So this may not mean what you think it means, but I'm gonna get into it, right? So we have 20 appointments over 2 days, right? And so it's a trade show kind of atmosphere, or appointments, one-on-one appointments, or if they had 2 people and just one, it can be two on one. Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That's not the thing. And I'm not saying that people didn't show up. They were physically there. Okay, everybody, all my appointments were physically there at their booths or their desk or whatever. But what I'm saying is, when you're there, make sure you show up. Physically, you're there, right? But that wasn't an issue. But mentally, be present. Be there. Don't be somewhere else. Your mind's already on the plane. Your mind's already at home. And it shows when you're trying to explain things, or maybe you're not explaining things. Maybe I'm the one asking all the questions, which sometimes you got to do that, right? But we have to be forthcoming with information. So as a salesperson, because I sat on that side of the table before, right? Remember, I used to be a sales manager and a director of sales and marketing for many years at probably 10 hotels in my career, right? So just make sure you have to be present. You have to show up and put on that face, or put on, how they say, like Disney, they say you're always on stage, you're always performing, right? So just imagine you go to a play and somebody they're taking a day off, right? They're there physically, but mentally they're not there, right? They're just going through the motions, and you can tell if it's a dance scene and they're just like, barely jumping and barely doing the moves and what, it's noticeable, right? So what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're only putting half of your heart into it, if you're only putting half of your heart into it, it shows, right? So I met with this person. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter what hotel it was. But this person was obviously already on the plane going somewhere else. I think I was appointment number 9 out of 10. Okay. So, and you can just tell, like, oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, here's my card. Here's my information. Didn't ask me anything about me, what companies I maybe represent, or what type of markets I represent, the size of my groups, anything like that. Didn't mention anything like that at all. Didn't even ask, right? So I volunteered information because I want to see where this was going to go. I want to see if this person was going to perk up, if they was going to get more excited as we kept going on. I don't know. But they never did. They never got excited. They were just kind of like looking at their watch, like, how much time? Well, you didn't have to look at your watch, because there's a big time clock that tells you how many minutes. And I want to say each appointment was it 15 minutes, 12 minutes? I can't even remember, because it really didn't matter, right? Because I want to make sure I'm there, right? If it's 10 minutes, I think it was 15 minutes. Let's say it was 15 minutes. So, they can look up and see what the clock is at, like, okay, I still got, 5 minutes to go, right? So I ended up cutting it short because there was literally nothing else to talk about. So when we do this, we're spending a lot of money. Hotels are spending a lot of money to come, not just for the fees for the conference itself, or to participate in it. That 6-foot table costs, I'm sure, thousands of dollars, right? But you got to ship things in. What's your airfare? What about the hotel room? You got to pay for that as well, right? So what about eating and all that transport? All that stuff costs. So, and like I said, I was on that side before, and I always came back and said, when the people came back from their sales trips as a director of sales and marketing, so what did we do? How many leads did we have? I need to know all those things because you got to report to somebody. Everybody reports to somebody, right? So I need to know details of what's going on. And if you got that kind of attitude and you're in sales, that's not a good thing. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. It's not a good thing. So as salespeople, when we're doing these trade shows, we need to show up and be present. Okay, and just because you're there physically does not mean you're there mentally. You got to show some enthusiasm, be excited. You're a salesperson. Be excited. Be enthused about being there. About maybe presenting your property or your destination to one more person, because you never know that one more person may be the person that has that RFP that's hot off the presses, and they're like, "Hey, I need information about this tomorrow because my client is ready to move forward." So you just never know who you're meeting at these events, right? You never know how urgent their RFPs are, or if they have RFPs or not. Not maybe for then, but maybe in the future. But if there's two, let's just say there's two hotels from the same destination, and one gave me, a great presentation and one didn't. One showed up, one was both were physically there, but only one was there mentally. And that person was excited. Well, who you think you're going to go with? All things being equaled, who would you go with? You're going to go with the one that's more excited, that's happy to talk about this, happy to talk about that. Oh my God, this is great, whatever. But everybody wants somebody, especially a salesperson, that's excited. Because I always say this, right? When I do my on air with Russell of hotels, one of it is be your best advocate. You got to be your best brand advocate, right? So regardless if it's your hotel or you work for that hotel, if it's your business or you work for somebody else, it doesn't matter. The brand is you. I buy you before I buy that hotel that you're representing or the destination, right? But if you're like, oh yeah, just going through the motions. Yeah, I'm from here. I've been here a couple of years, and yeah, we just did a renovation, and I'm pulling teeth. I'm getting information from you instead of you volunteering information. Well, you're not a good brand advocate. You're not out there shaking and like saying, hey, this is the place for you to be in this destination. When you come to this destination, there's no other hotels here. This is the place you need to come to because I'm going to take care of you. I didn't get that feeling. I didn't get that warm and fuzzy, that toasty feeling that I should have gotten in South Carolina because it was cold, right? I didn't get that warm and fuzzy feeling. Okay, so going back to what I said, make sure you show up, and that means not just being present, but not being physically present, but mentally present as well. So let's just make sure that we don't forget that stuff when we're doing these things. Just because you're number 9 or 10 does not mean that we cannot show our best, whatever, put on the show or put our best foot forward, if you will. Because this is the thing. When I went to number 10, she was so excited, it was ridiculous. Well, not ridiculous, but that's what you look for, right? She was just as excited, and I wasn't there for her first appointment, but I was there for her 10th and last one. And she was excited. She was pumped. She was like, "Oh my God, this is great. Tell me a little bit about yourself, and I'll tell you a little bit about me." And then she talked about, these are new things. I knew the destination. I had never booked there before. But she said, "Oh, these are some new things that are here. You've been here before? Okay. You're familiar with this? Yeah, I'm familiar. Okay, well, did you know about this? Okay, we just started this new, blah, blah, blah. We got this program going on. If you book now, blah." She's going through all these things, and she's excited. And it's like, if I do have something, yeah, she'll be the first person I call for that particular area because she was excited. She showed up both mentally and physically. She was there. She was present. So it wasn't just everybody was like that. No, the person I met at number 9 was like that. Okay, so, and no one else during the day was like that. From the first one to the 10th one, only number 9 was like that. So just remember, you're on stage, you're performing, people are watching, you're in sales, you're expected to sell. You're expected to be enthusiastic about what you're selling. You're expected to be that brand advocate for the brand. It starts with you, but you're representing a brand. So you think I got a good taste in my mouth about the brand she represents or he or she represents? No, I don't. And I know the property, right? And maybe it's the reason why I never booked anything there, because it's in a destination that I have stuff, and I booked things around this particular destination. Never booked it there because I never got a warm and fuzzy feeling from that property at all. So, and this is the first time I actually met someone from there. So, and it just tells me like, well, maybe I don't need to. And some hotels maybe are like that where they don't need business. People are just coming in there because they're there, and that's fine. But that's just not for me, because I'm gonna buy the person before I buy the place that I'm staying, or I'm gonna represent the place that, this place to my client, right? Because I'm the first line before it gets to my client, right? So if I'm like, well, if I don't like it, I know he or she's not gonna like it, So let's just keep it moving. So just remember to show up, be present, and that's it. That's all I have. So I'm about 26 minutes. See, I told you it's going to be less than 30 minutes. Didn't I say that? So, and this is a AC Hotel, Greenville, South Carolina. So a lot of new properties, AC, the Spring Hill Suites / Residence Inn, dope property. One of those dual branded properties has space up top. I mean, I'll start showing some more of the. I didn't show every picture or photo or video that I took during the last two days, but I will over the course of the next 2 weeks. I'll spread them out so you can actually see some of the different the venues within the hotels, right? So, I mean, some of these have very unique space, and you never know what type of space these hotels have until you actually go and take a look, right? So my job is to take photos and videos and share them with the world, right? Share them with you guys. And if you guys have any questions at all about Greenville, South Carolina, having meetings there, whatever, of course, you can just reach out to me. You don't have to call them. Reach out to me. Reach out in touch, and I'll make sure I help you, because I'm definitely a resource. I want to be a resource for people that are doing meetings or people that need content creating and stuff like that. I'm a resource for all that stuff. I'm also a resource for a podcast of people that want to learn or how to do a podcast, or how'd you get started with doing these podcast things, right? Yeah, I've done 300 and is it 300? I can't remember what it is. 238. I think the next one will be 238. So yeah. So there you go. So that's it. You guys have a great day. It's Happy Hump Day once again. I got a dentist appointment at 2:00, so I got to get out of here, right? I hate this, right? I hate going. First of all, I hate going to the doctor or dentist, right? But I know it's a need, right? I have to do that. So I had to cancel an appointment in December. And then I said, okay, well, just keep me in mind for if someone cancels, right? Well, I get a call like 11 o'clock. Hey, guess what? Someone canceled. I said, hopefully for tomorrow, right? She goes, no, for today at 2. I'm like, and like a dummy, I said, okay, I'll do it. So I got to go. So anyway, you guys have a great day. Thank you again for joining this daily check-in. I'm going to do a daily check-in tomorrow as well, and then as well as Friday. So anyway, you guys have a great day. And as always,